Hey guys, it's Stacey from Art on the Rocks with Gare, and I was just jumping on to talk a little bit about my plant vibes summer project I'm working on. So during quarantine, I don't know about any of you, but I have developed a green thumb, multiple green thumbs. If I had more than two thumbs, I would have all the green thumbs. I have taken a liking to plants, and it's really satisfying to keep something besides my children alive. So I'm really excited about all the planty things, and I wanted to bring it into some of my artwork. Yeah, let me pop in for the close-up here. Whoop. So I really like this because you can use this option on any surface. So I'm going to show you some techniques that you can apply to this charger like I have. Smaller plates, you could do it to the whole plate. You could just do it to a rim, a platter. You could use this idea on some of your planter projects. Anything that you can put dirt in is now a planter. So that's what we've been up to over here. And I'm going to jump right in with the first step. All right, so for the first one, I'm going to be doing kind of a watercolor technique around the rim. I am using Cream Puff, Peachy Keen, and Smiley Face. See, we label the top so we don't get confused. So, you can do this with any colors you want. Purple is kind of my thing, so that is what I will be doing. I just like to use a nice soft brush of some sort. I'm gonna get it nice and wet, and I'm gonna pick some spots for some watered down yellow. And I'm just gonna do it on the rim. So I just wanna kind of stick to nice organic shapes. I want some spaces to be more watery, some to be relatively thick. So I'm just going for this nice watered down look. I'm not doing 3 coats because I want this watercolor effect. And we'll just pick a few spots for our yellow. I'm trying not to think about it too much. I'm just letting it happen. All right, I'm gonna rinse that and dry it-ish. I'm not too worried about mixing colors because I'm gonna overlap a little. So I'm watering this down a bit. And now I'll pick another spot. And I'm letting this kind of shine through a little bit. Some spots it's heavier, some spots I'm overlapping. Some spots I'm just doing completely new. Sometimes I'm kind of popping a second coat on there. Sometimes I'm not. You can be very free with this. You don't need to really be too mindful of where it goes. Maybe I do a little section where it's totally overlapped some of my yellow. And then I'm gonna rinse. And one more time. I don't want any empty white space on this rim. I want this nice watercolor effect. So I'm gonna grab some Cream Puff, water some of that down, and I'm gonna fill in these last couple spaces. Again, I'm not worried about overlapping or touching is acceptable. And that is our watercolor rim. So we'll screenshot this guy in here so you can see those colors are gonna pop out underneath my leaf resists. So now we're going to create a resist around the border of our plate. But again, you could do this on, like I've done a few on the Squircle plates. I love that look too. I like this because I'm a big fan of how Gare kind of nests all their products. So I can put a dinner plate in this charger, even a salad plate, and I can get real fancy. So to do that resist, I have created some leaf outlines on my silhouette machine. If you do not have a silhouette or a Cricut, you can establish this resist by just going to your local craft store and getting some leaf-shaped stickers. So you want this to be really dry, which mine is, and then we're going to peel off the stickers and apply them. We're gonna zoom in for the close-up so you guys can see this part. All right, so I'm just going to peel these off like it's a sticker. We're gonna cue the fast forward, and we're just going to place these down wherever I would like them. Voila! So we've got all those stuck on there, and those are going to be our resist for the next step. All right, so I've gone ahead and applied my sticker resist, which again, I did with a silhouette machine, but you can absolutely just go purchase stickers at the craft store and do any theme you want with these. So we've laid these all down. I'm gonna zoom you guys in so we can talk about painting the rim over the sticker resist. All right, so Movie Magic, I've let this dry a long time. I'm using Jumpin' Jelly and the color purple because I wanted a slight variation this time, so I'm mixing the two together on my trusty fan brush. And a nice sopping brush. I really like to load it up. I'm gonna just glide right over all of my resists. So I'm being relatively neat on the edge, but this charger plate kind of has like this little, I don't know, it like stays where it's supposed to. I don't need to try and be exceptionally neat. Paint nice and thick. I'm gonna go ahead and do 3 coats is the general rule. I often do 2 because I'm a very heavy painter. I'm just going right over those. Sometimes you need to kind of go back and forth as opposed to the one direction that I usually paint in, just so the paint kind of catches both sides of that cutout. Let's zoom in. We're gonna get that second and third coat if you're a little bit of a lighter painter. Here we go. Right over these. Now you'll notice I'm not super neat on this edge. The plate just kind of lends itself to a mostly neat edge, but I am going to sponge the center, so I'm not too concerned. Speed painting time. All right, so we've got that second or third coat on there, and then I'm gonna do my center. So for my center, oh, we've got a runaway sponge. I like to use a sea sponge. It just gives you a less consistent look when you're dabbing something, so it doesn't look like you're dabbing with polka dots. And whenever I use a sponge, I like to grab a little bit of paint, and then I like to dab it off so it's not a huge blob the first mark, and then I can get a little more consistent throughout. So I'm going right up over this edge too, and you'll notice something, little tip that I like to point out when sponging. I rotate my hand. I don't want every single mark that I lay down to be that shape. So I try to kind of give it some natural inconsistencies by moving my hand around to the right or left. And I'm going to sponge this whole center. All right, super quick step and one of my favorites. So I'm going to move you guys in close for this one. All right, so I wanted to do a little extra on here. You could totally stop at this step and be in a great place, but I wanted to give it a little flair. So I'm going to use a toothbrush. I've got it a little wet, and there's 2 ways to do this. There's a dramatic way and a less dramatic way. I will show you both. So we've just go ahead and coat our toothbrush, and then you can put your finger at the front of the toothbrush and you pull backwards like a trigger, and you can get little sprays of glaze. This is the not so dramatic way. And you can get a little splattering around. I'll show you guys up close. Little speckling. Now, if you want to be a little more dramatic about it, a little more water. A little more glaze. We've really kind of loaded it up. And instead of just pulling back on the bristles, I pull backwards the whole head. This is a very dramatic look. Just rub that in. But I totally love it. So you can get some cool spattering of glaze everywhere. Make sure, if you do that, that you move other projects. I've accidentally done it with other projects around. Last little step is to weed out our stencil resist. So I have one of these little handy dental picks. Some people, you can use a toothpick, you can use your fingers. I just like these, it's nice and easy. So I'm just gonna stab a piece and then I capture it in my fingers and I pull it off. Stab it, capture, pull it off. I embrace the mess, so you'll often see me just rubbing the glaze in. Trying to go green, I'm saving the paper towels. That's it, just peel these bad boys off. And we've got a really clean, beautiful resist. Some of these guys that are just hanging off the side, I'm able to just grab with my fingers, which is great. But these ones in the middle, right here, I'm just gonna take this tool, stab the vinyl, get it picked up a little bit, and then I just pull it right off. Easy peasy. I like to do this when it's still a little wet. I have found that if you wait, you get lots of dust from the glaze, which can leave, you don't always notice it, and then it fires onto your piece, and it looks like, you know, you fired on dust. So I like to do this when it's wet, so it's not cracking. And when I say wet, I mean, look at these. That glaze is all still wet on there. So doing this makes it a lot cleaner. Whoop, it stuck to me. There we go. Get over on this side, squeeze a little edge, capture it in your finger, and pull it straight up. Whoop. Yes, none of that dust or that chalky residue is left because I'm doing this while it's wet. You gotta watch where you stick your hands, but it is a cleaner end product, which I will show you guys in just a moment. Just rub in the glaze. All right, so I'll go ahead and show you guys. Look at how clean where I pull those up. You don't get any dust or glaze chipping off. And then we're gonna go ahead and dip this guy and get him in the kiln. All right, talk to you soon, bye.